I believe that the reason God created man was for management.
Really? I have never heard it put that way.
The first thing is to be honest with yourself. You can never have an impact on society if you have not changed yourself.
God will never allow growth where there is no management.
Wow, wow, wow.
So instead of praying for things from God, pray for the management ability.
Everything I tell you is true. Everything I open my mouth and I say is correct because heaven directs me on what to say. Heaven will tell me and I will tell you it will come to pass in front of your eyes. Not behind you, you will see it happening.
God will withhold things from you if you cannot manage them.
When you look at the facts that something around 1 million people perished as a result of the actions of the British and Russian and Nigerian federal governments.
Vis-a-vis what we see in Nigeria, which is truly not, it should not be surprising. Look, what's happening in Nigeria is barbarous. It's horrible. I mean, it's complete madness, yet it's not a priority. The United States unilaterally could do almost anything it needs to do. It would be a long-term effort, but it could be done. And the United States has the capability. All the elements of power, we have those.
So why not?
Complete, it's not a priority. That's the problem. We are committed elsewhere in the world. Black West Africa is not a priority.
Anybody who changes his principles depending on whom he is dealing, that is not a man who can lead a nation.
Excuse me. They can't tell me. No way. When the time comes, it's okay. What stupid country is this? So when you see you try somebody's secret, when you like, you try a secret. When you like, it's in public. What stupid country is that? What stupid country is that, I ask you? When you like, you try in secret. When you like, you try in private. They are killing my people. 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 After killing my people, you tell me to tell in secret. The person is mad. Completely mad. Tell Buhari, that's what I said. That he is mad. He cannot tell me. He cannot tell me. He's a madman. There's a contempt of court proceedings here. Contempt of court. They don't obey court order. They don't obey court order. You're telling me secret prayer. Is the person mad?
I, Nnamdi Kanu, will sacrifice anything sacrificable to make sure that Biafra comes.
We hereby declare no election, no 2023 general election in Biafra land. This no election in Biafra land has been activated. We are going to make it a task that must be done by every Biafran. All measures will be put in place to make sure the adequate civil disobedience is implemented to stop the election in Biafra land.
the meaning of discovery, it means to bring to light something that is buried on the ground. If you can accept that, then you know that Biafra is coming. There is nothing man can do about it. It's too late. Way, way too late. The countdown has begun.
Yeah, very well. Good day to you all, wherever you are watching from. I think we had the network is bad, seem to be bad here, so I had to refresh and to be able to get very well. It's still bad. It's still not very. The network is still poor here. I don't know why it is, but I want to welcome you all to this program today. Good day to you, wherever you're watching from. And thank you for joining wherever you are. This is a morning program from my location. I know some of you are already in the afternoon period and some of you in the night period and all of that. Good to have you. Today is the first day. Thank you, Nolan. You sent a hi again. I had to refresh, so all the messages that came initially have disappeared. But I want to thank you for sending your messages. Please, you can send forth. And I thank you all wherever you are joining from. Today is the first day of the lockdowns slated to stop the election in Biafra land. Today is the 23rd day of February 2023, and I want to appreciate everywhere where the lockdown is happening right now, and those places where they are not happening yet. It seems that some of our people have not learned their lesson yet. They want things to be done by force before they can always be part of it. But we want to assure you that this opportunity that we have to make sure that Nigeria election is not conducted in our territory will not pass us by. When God gives us opportunities, we must be spiritual enough to understand the extent to which God is speaking to us and to plunge ourselves into it and then allow ourselves to become useful instrument to make sure that what God has designed and what God has called out for comes to pass. And this no election period is a very critical and crucial one for us. And we're determined that we shall achieve our aim, our objectives, and everything that we have set our minds to do in this period. I want to assure the whole world, especially the international community, that you cannot force us into another 4 years of servitude and another 4 years of destruction so that we can be overrun by Fulanis whom you have given the mandate to overrun the people. Now, I was saying something yesterday critically. Before I go into today's broadcast and show you the video that I want to use for today's analysis, I was saying yesterday that why is it that the international community is behaving as if they don't know what the problem is and where the threat to peace, to global peace is? They know where the threat to global peace is. They know where the threat is coming from. They know those who are the custodians of the threat. They know those who are the problems, yet they pretend as if they don't know. They keep talking about global peace. They keep talking about global restoration. They keep talking about global advancement, global progress and success. They keep asking you to bring ideas and whatever you need, whatever you think you have, for them to get to understand how they can go on under the auspices of the United Nations to help see how they can restore global peace. They tell you that United Nations was composed or formed for the sake of restoring global peace and bringing about global peace. but yet they would not tell you that they know what is causing the global threat and trouble. But before I go on, let me just go on, please. I want to get feedback from you on your location where you are, and if the sit at home or the lockdown is being observed. Abia State is not yet in compliance. Yes, we heard this morning that Abia State, Aba especially, and other aspects, Umuahia and all those places are not yet complying. The compliance is low for today, but this is the beginning day. I want you guys to be strong and be courageous. We would win. We would surely win. This opportunity will not pass us by. The problem, and the so unfortunate problem, is that our people want things to be done by force before they can adhere to instructions. I don't know why our people are blinded to their foolishness, blinded to their suffering, blinded to their pain. That's just a simple exercise you tell them to observe, so that they can be free and get things to be good for them. They tend to treat it with levity. They tend to play with everything. They tend to play politics, sentiments, and all of that with everything. They want to know who is giving the order for the sit at home. George Okafor, thank you for that one from Aba, not yet complying. They want to joke with everything. They want to know who is calling for the sit at home. If it is not somebody they like, then it shouldn't happen. It cannot happen. Just like the criminal in South Africa the other time said that instead of Simon Ekpa to bring Biafra, it's better if Biafra don't come. And what else do you expect from such kinds of people? They would do everything to undermine the effort of Biafra people, because they don't want somebody to be at the forefront of spearheading Biafra restoration. And yet you tell them to go do what they have to do to bring Biafra. They don't have the IQ, they don't have the ability, they don't have the technical know-how, they don't have what it takes to do that. So you begin to wonder, what do these people want? Go strategize and let Biafrans follow you to in your strategy. They don't have the strategy. Okay, now someone has a strategy. Someone, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, says he's bringing a new dimension, and he says listen to him, and he even told you not to argue with him, not to exchange words with him on a memo. Yet you are saying, no, if it is this person, then let Biafra not come. Let me not be free. Let me not be successful. If this person is going to be the one through whom success is going to come to me, if this person is going to be someone whom God is going to give the money to give to me, I don't want it. I want to remain poor. It's like saying, like telling yourself that you just want to determine what God does for you through the means that you want it to come. And it doesn't happen that way. You can't determine for God or dictate for God who to use to bless you. And that is why, as a human being, you must make sure that you are void of jealousy, you are void of envy, you are void of bitterness, you are void of hate, because these are the instruments that would actually stop you from accessing the people God has positioned to be a blessing to you. Because the people God has positioned to be a blessing to you, that God has positioned to be a blessing to you, might not be the people that you expect to be a blessing to you. That is why you must be, you must make sure that you treat everybody, with that civility, and also make sure that you try to behave right and do the right thing and make sure you're on the right path. Now, good to have you all. Please send me messages, Let's know what's happening around you, or the messages that you hear around what's going on all over Biafra land. Our determination is to see that Biafra does not hold election, and Saturday will be a total lockdown, but it begins from today. Some parts of Biafra land are locked down now. They are on lockdown. They are now locked, and they are not operating in that. And they're operating in the instruction, and obeying the instruction, not minding who is sending the instruction, because the main focus is where we all want to go and what we want to achieve. And when we remain focused on this, then we will not look at the distractions to see that we undermine what we are collectively agreeing to achieve. And some people were really not happy with Moses strategy, but yet they had to stay under the auspices of the instruction and to make sure that they obey the instructions that Moses is bringing from God. So that is why most of them entered the promised land, and some of them who couldn't adhere to that couldn't enter the promised land. Now, 2023 election is a trap, and I want our people to understand this. And I'm going to be explaining what I mean by a trap. Good morning, Brother Kelechi. I just stumbled into this as I no longer get notification from you and others. Wow. Thank you so much, Matt, for joining, Mrs. Adazion. Thank you. I don't know why the notifications don't come. Maybe they have censored our channels because the notification is supposed to come, but so many people keep saying that they're not getting the notification. Well, let's hope anyways. When we get our freedom, we will be able to strategically get what we have to get to be able to get a better opportunity to express ourselves to the world. But I believe that once we get our freedom, all this nonsense will stop, and we're going to effectively begin to have a better place in the world and in the world stage, the global stage. We have been, we have been really bastardized. We have been treated badly globally, but and make sure that we get our freedom. I want to welcome you to the broadcast, to today's live broadcast. I want to thank you for joining, and wherever you are joining from, please send messages of what is going on around you. Today is critical. It is the beginning of the sit at home. It is the beginning. Yes, I'm not deterred. They can't stop me. Yes, they can't. Whatever they do will not stop us. We are resolute. We are consistent. We are truthful in all. It's not about being resolute or consistent, but truthful, transparent, and of course, very dedicated to the cause of freedom. We are henchmen to the passion for freedom. And that is why we would always say the truth at all times. I want to welcome you all for joining. Please send messages of what's going on around you. Let's know. Let Biafrans know. Let people know. Now, 2023 election is a trap. Basically, you know when you are being trapped, when you can sense, situations around you. You must not see the trap before you begin to understand that you are walking into a trap. God has given us the ability to reason so that we can look at signs around us. And that's why Jesus said something. These signs shall follow them that believe. In my name, they shall do this. So the name of Jesus becomes the sign or the evidence of, the avenue to achieving the signs. That means when you call the name of Jesus, then these signs go with you, follows you. So Onka Ibuka says, is the sit at home still working? I don't know why you're asking that question. If the sit at home is still working, who would make the sit at home work? We would make the sit at home work. But when you pose a question that sounds mocking the whole process, then you're actually mocking the opportunity, mocking the time, because the opportunity here is for us all. If we miss this opportunity, we are going to tell the story in a bad way. So rather than mock the process, try to encourage people around you that this is the first day. And so you have to buckle up and make sure that you sit at home the second day. So don't make it look like mockery. It didn't work. Yeah, you see, we said it's not going to work. No, don't think that way, because it's going to backfire. Remember, this is all about survival, our collective interest. So if people are told to sit at home, they refuse to sit at home. You can't blame it on the person who said sit at home. You can't blame it on the person who is saying that. You blame it on the people who have refused to know the danger they are in and thinking that they can continue their lives the same way, whereas the Fulanis are planning strongly. The Fulanis are staying in the bush. How many of us would accept to stay in the bush just to bring about conquest of other people? You can do it, but Fulanis are doing it today, and they're sacrificing it. And so you can imagine that kind of evil sacrifice they are putting up. And we are not doing what we're supposed to do to make sure that we have what we have to get. So I want to tell you that it's not a thing of mockery, Onka. It's a thing, okay, I'm just asking if people still obey the order. Okay, I understand you now, because the first message poses like a mockery. Is the sit at home still working? Because it is us all that will make it work. So keep encouraging people, keep talking to people. And that is why I'm making this broadcast this morning. Because I want to tell the people to understand what the election is to them. First, you must understand the why. You ask yourself the reason. Why are they talking about election when they actually have not sorted the problems that have been causing the conflict within the Nigeria contraption, which they have opportunities, or they had the opportunity to fix before the election time. Why is everybody now coming all out and talking about election? Why is everybody all out talking about election? What is this benefit of election to them? Now, I told you initially, I said that for you to know when a trap is set against you, you must be able to understand the signs of things around you. For instance, if you find yourself in a situation where everything around you seems suspicious, then that means there's something ahead for you. Thank you so much, Prince. Good to have you. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you so much to have you here. Good to have you. Thank you, sir.
Appreciate you too.
Yes,
so sorry I had to crash in.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool because there's
I just saw you were live. I got up. I wanted to check out a few things. Then I saw you live. I thought, no. Let me breeze in and see if I can drop one thing.
Okay. Now, before you drop what you want to drop, let me play this particular video so that it will also give you some insight of what is happening, and then we'll now let our people understand that you are just being trapped into getting involved in a thing. Let me play it now.
Nigeria's constitution, like America's,
begins with a simple and profound idea: we the people.
And during this election, you, the people of Nigeria, have a chance to make your voices heard, to choose your future.
The United States does not support any individual candidate for office.
But we strongly support a peaceful election
that reflects the will of the people of Nigeria.
Because free and fair elections in Nigeria help create a freer and fairer world for everyone.
Your vote matters. This election matters, not only to Nigerians, but to the rest of the world.
We're invested in your success. Our shared democratic futures depend on it.
Go to inecnigeria.org to prepare to vote, because your voice matters.
The Nigerian people have a friend and partner in the United States of America.
Here we have Tony Anthony Blinken and all these people coming all out just for Nigeria election. Oh my God! Please! I want you to say about this. It's just
how the spirit works, and my God knows that this was the reason why I crashed in.
Wow!
If you had not played this video, that's all I came to talk about.
Wow!
I'm telling you. When you began to play, I say, "Oh God, thank you, Father," because this shows that we are in the spirit and God is with us. I somehow latched onto this particular video by Blinken and Co.
Yes.
And I didn't know whether to laugh or whether to cry. First of all, I think what I want to say to all Biafra, and I'm saying all glory to God Almighty for yet another day, because it's God that has enabled us to come. I want to give God all the glory, and I am strongly believing that the will of God will come through. As mortal beings, just like Yeshua in the Gethsemane, yielded his own physical will to God, but defaulted to the holy will of God. We yield our submissions in terms of what we want, and we are now defaulting to the holy will of God. And I pray God to give us all that we need to do our part, and then allow him to finish the course. For his glory and for the blessings of humanity, in Yeshua's name, amen. Now, you see, my fellow Biafrans, I think there was a program we had not too long ago where I think our topic was, our enemy has already told us what they want.
Yes.
Our enemies have declared what they want, and at the same time what they don't want. So we don't need to go
looking for a prophet to tell us what does this mean and which way should we go. We are on a cross path and our enemies are telling us we must go right, go right, go right. That is where you go, you must go right. And you know that this enemy has never told you anything that is right before. At that point, you know that your salvation lies on going left.
Correct.
Because your enemy wants you to be destroyed.
Correct.
Now, let me be more clear more direct to Anthony Blinken and co. Don't forget that what Anthony Blinken is doing is what Katrina Lang is doing. What Katrina Lang is doing is what the Caliphate wants you to do. And they are fighting against independence, freedom, liberty of Biafrans. That is all they are fighting against. They don't want the God-given autonomy, God-given choice, God-given independence for humanity. They don't want to ascribe it to Biafrans. They want to deny you that because they want to enslave you forever. Now, the question you ask is this: why is it? These people ordinarily will tell you that Nigeria is a sovereign nation. Ordinarily, they will tell you we don't get involved in any country's. They will be. Do you know how many priests have been killed? These people, the whole people telling you to go and vote now and pretending to be interested in Nigerians. Okay, they all kept quiet. Okay, do you know how just priests, let alone other people? These people knew that Nigerian borders were opened to terrorists. They knew everything about the terrorists operating in Nigeria today. They knew and they know of all the killings. They know that bombs were being dropped even in Olu. As they pretended not to hear or see anything. I've told you, but once it is election, suddenly they love you more than you love yourself. Suddenly, because they know this is the only process through which you can renew your slavery certificate and allow them to come and continue to rape that part of the world, to come and dehumanize you, to come and steal from you, to come and... It is so transparent. You don't actually need me to be saying it to you. So your enemies, those that are holding you hostage, have already told you what they want from you and what they don't want from you. You have to ask yourself, does it mean that Anthony Blinken does not know that Nnamdi Kanu is in prison illegally? No, is it that he hasn't heard that this is a free man? No, he's interested in Nigerians, yeah? But as far as he is concerned, alongside Katrina Lang, they are happy for an innocent man to be detained. They are happy for international rules, regulation, everything about international order to be broken, just to make sure that Nnamdi Kanu is in DSS, dungeon. No, these are people who tell you that they are civilized, that they are righteous, that they obey the rule of law, that they believe in the freedom of man. Yet, they are happy to destroy everything that makes us human beings by detaining and making sure that an innocent man who happens to be a British citizen is locked up, whilst they are only happy to be telling you, in fact, if you leave them, they will tell you where to vote. You must vote. Yeah, they will. So come on. But let me tell Biafrans this. Don't be afraid, because whether you vote or not, you are exercising your democratic right. Okay? It's all democracy. Democracy is about choice. Okay? For the first time, you are being asked to do something different. You have been voting all this while, and the outcome had remained the same. You have been voting all these while, okay? Because every 4 years, they will invent something new to tempt you with. as if something is going to change. Don't forget that in 2019, they used not too young to run, not too young to run as their emblem to get you to go and vote in Sowore.
Sure.
Okay? Every 4 years, they will give you something to tempt you. They will dangle that carrot. Sure. And you started. This time, they presented you with Peter Obi, and everybody is running for it. Every 4 years, they would find something. I saw a video flying around, a doctored video flying around. What Nnamdi Kanu said about, if you don't vote, if you don't vote, then you will have violated the international rule order of democracy. But then when Nnamdi Kanu was now telling them, if the election is rigged, he was about to say something very important. And they know that if he said that it will resonate with what is up. They stopped it.
They stopped it there. Yeah.
They stopped it. Now, but what he actually said that was very clear was, if the election is rigged. Now, I want you to know that it is only the insane that would say that the election is not rigged, even now. Okay? Haven't you seen all the PVCs being poured away? The fabricated ones, haven't you seen the PVCs everywhere? Haven't you seen them being printed even outside, voters card outside of Nigeria? Haven't you seen little children in the north being registered to vote? What haven't you seen to know that the election is already rigged? No, have you not? So the election is rigged. So whatever Nnamdi Kanu was saying, or haven't you seen the version of Nnamdi Kanu's broadcast where he says, never vote, when it is only the enemies that will tell you to go and vote? Those are the enemies.
Very well.
So the thing is this, okay? It is either you declare that you are a human being by following your heart and making sure that you stop this cycle of impunity, because what we are going through is circle of impunity. I was listening to interview with Simon Ekpa, where that guy was saying that in the last how many elections, thousands of people have been killed. And Simon Ekpa said, so am I the one responsible for all those? So what that guy that was interviewing him had actually said is that this is a vicious cycle of killing that didn't start today. Okay? This is a vicious cycle. And the Simon said, we're the good guys. We want to end this nonsense. We don't want to carry on like this. Okay? Whatever it takes to end this nonsense is what we're trying to do. We are trying to actually tell people that they have a right. And it's a fact. So the truth is, no issue of liberty, no issue of freedom is a plain, easy selling thing. Let me now say this to you. America, Europe, etc., they are already heavily challenged and decapitated with all the things going on in Russia and Ukraine, okay? So they are just saying all these things to frighten the hell out of you, to get you to do something for them, because renewal of slavery is just what they bank on. But I've also advised these people to say, look, when Biafra comes, you will regret all that you have done, because you will suddenly say, oh, why did we really stop these people all this way? Why did we have to waste lives like this? Because Biafra will come to introduce a lot of things that will help America, help Britain, help everybody. But these people are so insane, because this is insanity. How can you come into a world that God created and embedded with limitless resources, and those resources can only be activated by mortal beings, not by animals, not by anything else? Now, and the natural resources, those that have been activated, you can trace it to those human beings that activated them. So, because none of these things can activate themselves. They are all activated through mortal beings. The money you use is a human being thought about it. The crude oil we use, a human being thought about it. All these things we are killing ourselves for, a human being thought about it. And you have been busy killing human beings. Okay? You don't even know what God had put in you yourself, let alone be able to calculate what is in other people that make them unique. You have been busy. All you're doing is killing, because you are attracted to the things mortal beings have recreated. And all the things you're killing for, none of them you came into this world with. You didn't come in with anything. And you're not going to live with anything. But you're so fixated in killing people just because of how they look and what you think of them. Okay? And you don't believe that this is madness. You just want to regulate everybody based on your little understanding of the world. You want everybody to have that understanding, your little understanding that is empty. If I say, if that is not mental disorder, there is nothing else called mental disorder. Okay? And Biafra is saying we want to do it different for the first time this time. Let us do it our way. Leave us alone. We've had enough of your killings. We've suffered too much. Is it that you haven't got eyes to see that we have suffered enough? Are you not tired of destroying our lives? Haven't you gotten tired? When are you going to get tired of stealing from us, killing us, abusing us, raping us? When are you going? Okay, if you tell us when you're going to stop, we can now consider whether to wait or not. But you're not telling us anything. You just want to continuously kill us until there is no Biafran left. Unless if it's a Biafran that will think like you, reason like you, and behave like you. Now, what type of world then are you looking for then? So, my Biafran people, let us take whatever, because God has already opened that Red Sea. I need you to know that the Red Sea is open. Be brave to cross. Don't be afraid. The Red Sea had opened. It is not meant for you. It is not meant to trap you in. It is meant for you to escape. That is why there is chaos everywhere you look. There is chaos in Ukraine and Russia. God has already distracted them enough. There is chaos even in China. God is distracting them. God had arrested them. Okay, so you need to know that they are in chains right now. They're just pleading with you to make the mistake, so that within 4 years they will recover and then hold you down forever. So that is why you must strike when the iron is hot. The iron is hot right now. Don't lose sight of what I'm telling you. Okay? And rest assured that Fulani hasn't got that support they used to have in 1960. The support they had in 1960, 70 to 70. Okay? Because a lot of people understand freedom and also understand Takia. Understand what Buhari, okay, and his cohorts are doing to you. Okay, now I want you to look at what Takia had done with Buhari. People don't know, and this is why we have to keep teaching so people can understand. Takia is in the so-called holy book of every Islamic worshipper. Okay, and it is clear that Takia is the thing that empowers every Muslim. Okay, when they feel threatened, when they feel their life or whatever is at stake, that Takia empowers them to sell lies and deceive the infidel, so they can destroy the infidel. And to them, it is counted as righteous. So it permits, Takia permits every Muslim Islam worshipper to use things that are unscriptural and and deceive an infidel, especially when they feel threatened. When they feel. Now, it was Takia that was behind Buhari when he said, I am a president for nobody, and I'm a president for all. In the end, what did he do? Because he has, first of all, used it to deceive the infidels. Everybody just relaxed until he began to recruit his brothers into every position. Okay? But Takia supported that. So as far as he's concerned, he did the right thing. Because in their minds, they feel threatened. Now, when you understand mental health, you will know what paranoia means. These people are religiously paranoid because they believe you're going to destroy them, because they believe they are threatened. They want to kill you first, even though that is delusional thought, because nobody has set out to destroy the Fulanis. It's a lie.
Sure.
So this is you need to understand what is here. So it was the same Takia that led Buhari to say, when people went to ask him to free Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, he said Nnamdi Kanu's case is in court. It is the court that will decide what happens to Nnamdi Kanu. Now, he was only deceiving the infidels.
Trying to buy time.
Because when the court now discharged, he said no. Because that tells you that he said the initial thing because Takia was working in him.
Sure.
And they are at liberty to use Takia anytime they feel they need to. It was the same Takia that was at play, because if you look at what he did with Tinubu, you will say, oh, well, Tinubu is a Muslim too. No. In their minds, there are different levels of Islam. Look, if you are a Yoruba Muslim, you're not a real Muslim as far as the Fulani is concerned.
Yes.
If you are Igbo Muslim, you're not a real Muslim.
In fact, if you have a mosque of 100 Muslims who are Yorubas, and you have only one Fulani in that mosque, he is the one who is permitted to do the prayers before any of those 100. Yeah,
these are things people, I don't know why people are too slow to do their own investigations. Because if you don't know what is happening, you're finished. I've told you that understanding is everything. You need to understand things in order to deal with them. If you don't have understanding, you're finished. So it was the same Takia at play when Buhari failed election several times until Tinubu latched on with him. They made an agreement. He promised to give the next, as far it was Tinubu that brought the vice president. What's his name?
Osibajo.
Osibajo, yes. So they made this deal, but Tinubu did not know that Buhari was operating with Takia. Okay, so Tinubu had expected that no matter what happens, this is his turn, and that's why a lot is going to happen after this election. That's if the election holds, because in Nigeria, anything is still possible. Because don't be surprised you wake up one day and you're told, oh, well, the military, the terrorist-infested military had taken over. Anything can happen. But if the election holds, and the Tinubu did not win, because Tinubu, as far as he's concerned, okay, this is his own turn. But can you see that even the promise by Buhari that after him it will be Tinubu, Buhari now, because it was Takia talking, Buhari now is doing everything he can to cripple Tinubu, because as far as Buhari is concerned, the only person he had a deal with is Atiku. Don't forget that Atiku and Obi won that 2019 election. But secretly, they had a deal because they are Fulani. Okay? Forget about the Supreme Court hearing of election of PDP won the presidential. Those were all to fool you. Okay? Already, Atiku had made a deal with Buhari. Okay, so don't play with these things. There are a lot of things happening that you can't see. Atiku made the deal because to the Fulani, their religious beliefs, their religion, their any agreement made based on their religion and the pursuit of the interest of their religion weighs above presidency, weighs above anything else in this world. I need you to know how seriously these people take their religion and to conquer the world. So that was why it was easy for Atiku to make a deal with Buhari, believing that this is his turn. And if you look at even the change in currency, okay, it is also done to cripple both Obi and Tinubu, because everything that is happening here in terms of this currency thing is not happening in the north. Okay, so the government totally is looking to bring in Atiku because it's a deal. So when you hear about what is happening in Lagos and not the rest of the thing, because APC government is looking to cripple Tinubu.
But you also know that they're also weighing the options here. Looking at the fact that Tinubu it will be easier for Tinubu to deliver than the West based on what is happening right now. For Tinubu to deliver the West, so why don't they gamble it? Have another agreement with Atiku, give him whatever he needs, and let Tinubu and Shettima come in, so that they know that Tinubu is just a walking box. He will soon be off, and Shettima will facilitate this this Islamization program based on his narrative, based on his boldness, based on what he represents, and knowing that Tinubu can deliver the West, and if he delivers the West with them agreeing on the northern front, they can easily have that, still have that ground where Tinubu also, where Shettima and Atiku will be very effective, in what their plan is, and of course in the Fulanization program.
Let me be honest with you. I hear what you're saying, and it's making sense. But I need you to know that there is a mistake these people don't want to make anymore. You see, the mistake that happened during Yaradua and they see all those things as mistakes. In fact, there is this agreement now that no Southerner will get in there because they didn't like how things nearly spiraled out of control.
Yeah.
Because the power going to Obasanjo, and then from there to Goodluck Jonathan, and there's that thing frightened the hell out of them. They don't want to make that mistake again. They don't know what allowing Tinubu to get in there might turn into. They don't want to take a chance. For them, it's got to be a Fulani. And if it's not a Fulani with the agenda they have, they're scared. But let me also tell Biafrans and the rest of the world about this thing now. That's why I say be resolute in your pursuit of Biafra, because it doesn't matter what turn they choose. It doesn't matter. Any turn they take will be a mistake.
And that's why we call it a trap. That's why I'm calling it a trap here now. Now let's look at it critically in the line of that video I played. Now let's look at the sentimental side. Now you can imagine Blinken coming, here, and then he brings a brown-colored African also to come into that narrative, where in that 59 minutes they had to just give a clip, a vivid narrative of what the interest that Nigeria poses to the world, and telling us how Nigeria is very important to them. Also, of course, we know what they mean by important. But look at the sentiment here now. In a brown-colored person who is an African being presented and standing with Blinken and doing all of those stuff. What do you think is what they're trying to do on the minds of the people, bringing a brown-colored person into the scene and Blinken standing there representing the West, and then all of them coming together to make it look like there's a united front here?
Well, it's called tokenism. Just bring one that looks like them, that believes in everything we believe in. That one is in to make sure that it's not taken as a racist movement trying to subdue them. So that's always been a tactics adopted. Just make sure it is the one that looks like them, even though that one actually believes in our policies and we will have to do our bidding. It is called tokenism. It is called a way of of deceiving the people. It's almost the political emblem that weighs the same as Takia. It's the same as Takia in politics. If you know what I mean, it's Takia.
Yes.
It is political Takia.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So Biafrans have grown beyond this. Okay, we understand these things. It doesn't matter how you try to play it, you're wasting your time because we already know what you're doing. The thing is that these people have been crippled and disadvantaged by not allowing Biafrans to come and introduce new things that will help them. Can you imagine an engine where the battery believes that it is the be it and end it all without understanding the workings of the alternator? Can you, because that is clinically what is happening here. You know, the battery believes that it is the be and end it all without understanding the implications and the invaluable need of the spark plug. No, because you know, until people begin to break these things down, that is what I don't know. But I tell you something: God is working. God is at work, because God is suddenly trying to put panic everywhere. That today, I can tell you, America is questioning whether their hegemony is still on. Okay? Yeah. Europe is questioning whether this thing is still working. Because you see, there has to be a time when God reminds everybody that He alone created the world. He alone. Because look, for Christ's sake, how many times are we going to go through this? Go to any maternity ward and observe babies coming into this world. That is how Blinken came in. That is how everybody, you and everybody, go to the next maternity ward and check it out. If you can't go there, use your YouTube. Type in baby's birth. Okay? Watch and see how babies come out of the womb. That is how the mother that is pushing came out as well. Correct. Everybody. So that it is so obvious that nobody came in with anything. You don't even have any clothes when you're coming in. No, you're coming late naked. You don't come in with a pea, there's a sand. That is God's way of confirming that He created the world. He put in everything, including the ground upon which we are standing, without which there is no one alive. The ground you're standing on. So what the heck? What the heck? And you can, after visiting that maternity ward, go to the cemetery or go to any funeral home and observe the dead. That is how everybody will end up. That is if people are not lost in air disaster, but whatever happens, go and check the dead and look at their hand and see whether they are holding anything that they are going to go out with. So you know, I wrote yesterday that once human beings come to being mortal beings come to being human beings, once we get to know our true identity, our true meaning, our true origin, our true purpose here in this transient life. Once we pick up that fact, once we get to know that, every war will end. Every war will end as we focus on rebuilding this world from an honest perspective in order to properly, you know what it means by properly replenishing this earth. Because suddenly we would realize that everything that is meant for replenishing this earth is embedded in us through the unique gifts God had given each of us and the limitations that are married into those unique gifts. Once we pick up our true identity our true meaning, our true origin, and our true purpose. Once we understand it, that's it. The world will suddenly change, and we will begin to tell ourselves off and say, why the heck did we miss our road? The problem is that you're dealing with these confused human beings who are confused. They don't know whether they are basic animals or whether they are God. Some of them think they are God. Some of them think they are animals. So with that confusion, of course, you see destruction. That is what you're seeing in this world. People who are totally confused. Today, Jimmy Carter, I think Jimmy Carter, is it his name? Is in hospice. He used to be the one that dictates the world must do this, the world wouldn't do that. Yesterday, we saw the Queen being sent off alone, lonely and empty-handed, in spite of all the alliances she formed, all the secret and open societies that she was involved in, all the guards that she had, all the ammunition, everything used to protect her. In the end, she had to be sent off alone, lonely and empty-handed, as all these alliances, all these secret and open societies began to reject her, deny her, denounce her, and abandon her. That is how all of us one day would depart, empty-handed. And all these things we steal and all this nonsense we are doing, we will still leave them behind. We're not taking anything with us, just like we came in empty-handed. Why is this difficult for people to understand? Why is something that is as transparent as this difficult for people to see? That's the question.
Now, talking about our true identity, I want to ask a particular question, but before I go on that question, I want to relate this true identity to something you posted about 2 days ago. I want you to paint a better picture to the people here based on that particular post. It was just a short one, but it was making a reference between the now person and the ancestor. Now, you made a point. You said that definitely there's a serious conflict here, where my ancestor has another identity, and I have another identity. How do we marry that? Because Nigerians must come to understand that validating Nigeria is like saying that your ancestors, you don't have a source to your ancestors. There's no link between your ancestors, because your ancestors are not Nigerians, and now you are saying you are a Nigerian. How do you marry that? So if you can give a clearer picture for them to understand that going for this election is like just denouncing their ancestry.
Yeah, it's like the leaf or the branch, the stem of a tree, disconnecting from that tree and wanting to plug into a different tree. Okay, it can't work. It doesn't work. You see, God created this world and gifted us autonomy. And thank you for bringing up that point. Autonomy. That means, that's why only a parent can name their child. Because name is given out of love. And for anybody to name a child, that person must have some kind of relationship with that child. And that name must be accepted by the parents first. Otherwise, the name cannot go forth. Unless if the parents are dead. Now, I need you to understand that. Even before we start talking about you and me as a person, look at what happens with domesticated animals. Dogs can only take a name from the owner. Dogs, this is an animal. Dogs will never, no dog in this world will listen to a stranger or try to buy into a stranger, trying to take them out of the name that the owner had given them. No dog would listen to that. In fact, in the mind of the dog, if the dog has a mind, the person is a fool, because the dog will not respond. So even dog takes name from their owner. Now, every parent, in fact, it is only an insane parent that will just begin to name their own child or accept a name given by a stranger, given by a visitor, given by a foreigner. It is only a mad parent that will do that. Because you see, naming is an act of God, a gift of God to man. That was why everything Everything obtains their name from a human being, their meaning from a human being, their value from a human being. Now, and this is part of the autonomy given to man. And I hope you're still with me, but let me progress this. So, God empowered every human being to name their child, and empowered people to name their various locations. Okay? So for you to actually, and this name is driven by love, by passion, And the name actually reflects your identity, your culture, your personality, your heritage. That is what name does. Okay?
Yes.
Because it also highlights your spirituality. You need to understand there is power in name. That's what, and names are given out of love. No stranger can give you a name out of love. No, no. That's why Nigeria is cursed. Okay? So your ancestors gifted your location a name. Okay?
Yes.
And making you a nation of your own. But a stranger came and decided to thwart that and disconnect you from your ancestors. Disconnect you totally from your ancestors.
It's crazy.
This is the height of evil. This is the height of evil. Because for you to be able to name name a location, you must have what we call biological lineage and ancestral connections. Okay, you must have that. You must have ancestral heritage of that place, and you must have biological lineage to that location for you to be able to name a place. So how come before 1914 your ancestors were something else, and suddenly you are dying and claiming and proclaiming another nationality from your ancestors? So then who are you really? Who are you? Have you ever asked yourself, who am I, if you're saying you are a Nigerian? Where did you get that from? No, why? So, how did you come about Nigeria when your ancestors are of different nationalities?
And we don't understand how one can marry that kind of. It's strange. It's not
bizarre.
That's not where you can. It's bizarre. Yeah. Now let's talk about. Let's go again on that narrative of tokenism. Now, in of course the language here now for people to understand, because what we're looking at is Fulanization. So the language here would be the issue of Takia, political Takia. Now let's go back to that message from Lincoln and his gang, who are trying to make people still continue in that mindset or that narrative of disconnecting from ancestors. Now, he made a critical point here. He talked about the interest. The election is not just for the interest of the people, but also for the global interest. Now, I want you to bring out the narrative here, the Takia in that statement, regarding using the concept of the 2023 election as a trap to get people to endorse this program, which they actually term to be like giving a Takia expression of it, that it represents global peace or represents global prosperity. That means everybody prospers. Now, I'm going to play that video one more time so that people who didn't hear it the other time can hear it now, and then I'll play it 2 times so that they can get just about 59 seconds or so that people can get the meaning very well and the message from this video very well. Let me just play it briefly, and so that, but before I play it, let me play this one, because you made mention of a particular video going around that people are talking about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu saying that election and endorsing election by what he said at that time. So I'm going to play a particular video so that they can marry it and understand what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu stood for. He actually, of course, election in itself is a very good thing. There's nothing wrong with election, but in the context of it, now you can now tell whether you are wise or you are foolish. So that's where Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is trying to bring out the point, and they stopped it there. So let me play that particular video before I play this now.
Voted in 1999. they rigged election, they looted the treasury. In 2003, it was it 2003? You voted again. The treasury was looted. 2007, you went back to vote for another change. The treasury was looted. 2011, did you not go there? The treasury was looted. Each time you vote for them, they steal from you. And you know the funniest thing? Next time when they call you to go and vote, you will also go out to vote. That makes you an idiot. That's why you're a baboon or you're a monkey. You can't reason very well. On a most of my you would have born. That's the saying of our people. If a road is so beautiful, you go that way. If you go on a road that the footsteps you see is only the one going, none coming back, you should turn back and go. That means it's not safe. This is something, the tales they used to tell us by the moonlight when we were small. You are now going into a forest. All the prints, the footprints you can see on the road is leading inside the forest. That is none leading back. No footstep coming back, only going in. If you go into that forest, an evil forest, you will die there. You have been voting all your life. There is no improvement. Why do you still go to vote? I'm just asking. Oh, sorry, please. You're a baboon or a monkey, and you're a Nigerian, isn't it? A very foolish idiot.
Nigeria's constitution, like America's,
begins with this simple and profound idea: we the people.
And during this election, you, the people of Nigeria, have a chance to make your voices heard, to choose your future.
The United States does not support any individual candidate for office.
But we strongly support a peaceful election
that reflects the will of the people of Nigeria.
Because free and fair elections in Nigeria help create a freer and fairer world for everyone.
Your vote matters. This election matters, not only to Nigerians, but to the rest of the world.
We're invested in your success. Our shared democratic futures depend on it.
Go to inecnigeria.org to prepare to vote, because your voice matters.
The Nigerian people have a friend and partner.
Voted in 1999, they rigged election, they looted the treasury. In 2003, it was it 2003? You voted again. The treasury was looted. 2007, you went back to vote for another change. The treasury was looted. 2011, did you not go there? The treasury was looted. Each time you vote for them, they steal from you. And you know the funniest thing? Next time when they call you to go and vote, you will also go out to vote. That makes you an idiot. That's why you're a baboon or you're a monkey. You can't reason very well. On a most of my you would have born. That's the saying of our people. If a road is so beautiful, you go that way. If you go on a road that the footsteps you see is only the one going, none coming back, you should turn back and go. That means it's not safe. This is something, the tales they used to tell us by the moonlight when we were small. You are now going into a forest. All the prints, the footprints you can see on the road is leading inside the forest. That is none leading back. No footstep coming back, only going in. If you go into that forest, an evil forest, you will die there. You have been voting all your life. There is no improvement. Why do you still go to vote? I'm just asking. Oh, sorry, please. You're a baboon or a monkey, and you're a Nigerian, isn't it? A very foolish idiot you must be.
Nigeria's constitution, like America's,
begins with this simple and profound idea: we the people.
And during this election, you, the people of Nigeria, have a chance to make your voices heard, to choose your future.
The United States does not support any individual candidate for office.
But we strongly support a peaceful election
that reflects the will of the people of Nigeria.
Because free and fair elections in Nigeria help create a freer and fairer world for everyone.
Your vote matters. This election matters, not only to Nigerians, but to the rest of the world.
We're invested in your success. Our shared democratic futures depend on it.
Go to inecnigeria.org to prepare to vote, because your voice matters.
The Nigerian people have a friend and partner in the United States of America.
How crazy that people are not seeing the trap in this. Please, can you just help the people see
You know, I love Mazi Nnamdi Kanu too much, and I like the way he analyzes things. But he's only human, so sometimes there are things he himself doesn't know, or to the extent that some other person might know. You know, I'd already walked through things with you here severally, where I told you what happens in the minds of a mortal being whose human side had not been activated. As a good student, can you tell me what did I say? What did I say becomes of a mortal being who retained the being side without activating the human side? What did I say happened?
You become less than an animal.
God bless you. You're a smart guy. They must begin to act worse than worse than animals. You know, in the video that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was talking about going to an evil forest, and all you're seeing are footprints going in, none coming back, and you carry on going. Only a mortal being that has not activated their human side does that, because no animal does it. I do a lot of experiment in my life. Sometimes I feel sorry because I don't like to kill living things at all, but because I want to find out something. Like during the summertime, you have ants coming in, okay? I've done this thing a few times. I've stopped doing it. So what I do is to find a way to sweep them out without let them just whatever happens to them, let it happen. But I do, I just sweep them out. So I don't feel guilty that I'm killing them. But I had to carry out a few. That's why I can't be deceived by these guys who tell, let's go and study the wildlife. Hey, I've done all that. I've studied the wildlife more than all of them. So they can't fool me with all these nonsense things they bring out. So you see, I've seen ants crawling on the edges of my sink. So this happened by accident. I didn't know there were a few trapped where I couldn't see where they were coming out from. So I killed the ones on top.
Correct.
Do you know? Suddenly I saw the ones trapped in. In fact, I can't reach it. But do you know that those ones will come? It's like as soon as they get up here and smell something to know.
Yeah, they smell. Yeah, they just
they go back. They go back.
Yeah,
they go back.
They go back. Just the smell.
They don't follow through. They go back.
Yeah,
I keep watching. They come up. They want to turn left, but it's like they smell.
And they're going back. They're going back. It's always very fast. They rush back.
That's right. So I just wanted to make you appreciate that little experiment to prove to you that every other creature will not do what human beings do when human beings are trapped in that basic being form when they are born. When they have failed to activate their human side, their behavior becomes worse than that of animals. That's why these so-called Nigerians will never ask themselves, all these elections we are doing, all these elections we are doing, and things are becoming worse. We must stop doing it. It is not in our interest. That is why our black sister, who is a token in that thing, in that political Takia, led by Blinken. That our sister is at least more than 60 years.
Very well.
But because she's still in the human side, in the being stage, she knows in her heart, what she knows in her heart is different from what she's saying. All of them know in their heart that this is Nigerian has no democracy. All of them know that it's not a democratic election. This is it must be rigged. They know it. They also know that people are being killed. They also know that Nigeria is a looting ground. They also know. So you see, when you are a being, okay, you can subdue your innermost thought that should propel what you say and say totally different thing. because you have to act like an animal, worse than an animal, not like, but worse than an animal. You can tear down, because by right, a mortal being struggle to say something that is different from what they have in their heart. When you are a human being, you struggle to say something that is different from what is in your heart. If you are human, you struggle. Your soul finds you guilty automatically when you know that what you are saying is different from what you really have in your heart. But you see, the beings formalize lies and make it part of their political takia, so they can have something different in their heart and they'll be telling you something different from their mouth. When you look at the average age of those that spoke, from blinking to, I can tell you none of them is less than 55 years.
Very well.
These are people who have lived at least half of their lives on earth. They are not, I don't think they are appreciating the fact that an exit is just awaiting each of them, just like you and I. So you can see what happens to a mortal being when they fail to activate the human side, because the human side must be activated and properly nurtured. Even when you activate the human side, if you haven't properly nurtured it, you can still be full human. No, you can't. You can activate it and it becomes basic as well, not much of nurturing. Honestly, that is even when people are at their most dangerous, especially when they become educated and become a politician, or they become most dangerous. Listen, don't forget that I just had to drop by. I've got multiple of things to do. It's just that when we are on the issue of Biafra, I tell you, I couldn't help myself, but because I've got to go somewhere now.
Very well. You have spoken. Hello, someone. It seems someone wants to say something. Someone is online. Hello.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, hello. You're welcome. Hello. You're live on the program. Good day from here.
Okay.
Thank you so much for joining.
Let me listen to that, my brother, before I go. Let me listen. Go ahead.
Yes. I want to contribute shortly. I'm at work, but it's very interesting. There's this brother speaking with you. They're a very interesting brother. I can't remember his name.
Prince Ezem.
Yes. God is. Hello?
Yes, go on, please.
Yes, I'm saying that God is choosing everybody in this time. And we have to keep it going, because this is it. We have to get our freedom. Yes. God has given us this golden opportunity to get our freedom, or forget it forever. We have never had it so good.
That's right.
Yeah. God has never had it in this manner prepared.
That's right.
For us, we have never in the history of the struggle had anybody like Samuel Ekpa.
Yes.
Can you hear me, right?
Very well.
Very well.
Yeah. I'm above 50 years, so there's nothing anybody will tell me about Nigeria. Nigeria was a well-carved, a well-orchestrated evil entity. And they will stop at nothing to keep it going. They're using their power, their influence, because they are a powerful nation. They're among the P5s in the world. So when you see the likes of Blinken and Catalina and the rest of them, but they are fighting the lost battle. They've lost already. God has risen up. God has set a standard against Nigeria. Nigeria's evilness and genocide and massacre of innocent Biafrans and Christians, it has reached the high heaven. God, if people understand how God works, and to think that a nation like Finland, God will put Samuel Ekpa there from the inception. God knew that these days were going to come, and that Nnamdi Kanu was going to be in this situation, and God prepared a guy who you cannot. I always tell somebody, I said, if God sends somebody an errand, and somehow, somewhere, the person runs into trouble or gets problem, if he's going to send another person, he will prepare the next person in such a way that you cannot touch him.
Very well.
So,
very well.
This is a couple of, like last year, when Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped, I called him to tell Nelly, to tell Nelly and Sima, the rest of them. I was telling them about the advent of Samuel Ekpa, But little did I know that these are people with absolutely nothing in their brain, or they've been overtaken by the satanic force going on. Because yesterday I was speaking with another friend. I said, look, that we're in a battle now, and that this battle is a camp, two camps, that are divided camp. Because not just the Fulanis or the British, including some Biafrans, they are in minority, but prominent or elite Biafrans who have joined the camp of the enemy, who has allowed satanic, the dark force, the dark world to overtake them. But it happens everywhere. It happens in the Bible with Israel. When they were leaving Egypt, there were Israelites who were fighting to stop the Exodus, to stop the movement. It happens everywhere. There's no country there's no time in history that you don't have this kind of, even in heaven it happened. There was one in heaven. There was one in heaven. The camp was divided. The camp of Satan and this angel who followed him to fight against God. So this is my point, that truly, but we as Biafrans, particularly the ones back home, we must see this moment, because we cannot afford. We simply cannot afford. The big picture for the Fulanis is the Islamization and Fulanization. That is one destination. It's one aim that they want to achieve by all means. And unfortunately, they have so much resources over the years and decades to pursue it. They've planted people here and there. And then British, because they personally, with the Fulanis, have an agreement that they will allow them the domination, the taking over of the entire country. But if they in turn will allow the British free access to oil and gas from Biafra land. These are deep, but hello?
Correct, go on.
Yeah, but what gives me joy is that at the end of it all, after all said and done, God is supreme. He has the final say. He's a very long, suffering, patient one, God. But when he shows up, when he comes, it comes. And we, on our part, every Biafran, genuine Biafran, to understand what freedom is, for our generation on board, must know that this is it. We must drop our pride, our egos, whatever it is. When God, you see, I've watched so many, like this brother here with you, I can't remember his name now, right? These are a lot of Biafrans who are genuine. You can say they are much better, like in terms of maybe knowledge, whatever. But God doesn't look at physical appearance. God look at every other areas. That is why He chooses a guy like someone else. There's nobody who will do what someone else tells now. We must all cue into it and know, like I said, our pride and ego and everything, we must cue into Him, because God chooses Him, because God knows that He is in a place and in a position He cannot be touched. The Fulani and the British, they will stop at nothing to try to get Him, but God has destroyed them already. So I was telling a friend that, so I said, okay, he has to be also okay, because I watched his interview when an Arise guy from, I think, London went to interview him. So these people, they kill their own, they destroy their own. How much more you, who is black and African? They don't kill it. Even their own very child, if he stands in their way, they take him out. So everybody knows that. You have to be naive and ignorant not to know who you are dealing with. So he has to, in terms of people coming to interview him, because they can go chemical, biological, just to make sure this is their nature and they can never change. But again, like I said, the thing that gives me joy is that God is above them. At the end of the day, God is supreme, supersede every power. And when the time is gone, they are going to be destroyed. All this gra you see, Blinken, Anthony Blinken and Catherine, they are making, they are finished. They are just finished. Biafra is here. We must make that last push. Biafra is here. They know, they themselves, that they cannot continue. They cannot continue to massacre the people of God just for freedom. You cannot, look, they are in Ukraine today, spending billions, killing just to help Ukraine maintain their freedom. And by the way, Ukraine used to be one country with Russia. Meanwhile, Biafrans, from the get-go, from inception, was never one country with Fulanese. No, we were living on our own. Same as for Oduduwa, they have their currency, they have the embassy, they have their flag, they have their national heritage. Same as Biafra. And the British came and forcefully, quote unquote, forcefully matched it. Now, Biafra say we want our freedom, just freedom. They went there, the British, they all conspired and massacred millions and millions till these days. And you think that God will allow that. Meanwhile, they are fighting to help Ukraine keep their freedom from Russia. So why is our own different? Is it because we're African, because we're black? So this is the level of hypocrisy and shame that has come upon them. That is why also in recent time, Clinton has just said something about their realization now that people just want to have the confidence to rule themselves, to know that they can decide for themselves. You say they realize it. I watched the interview of Clinton. I don't know if you probably have seen that interview.
Yes.
So my point. Hello.
Yes, of course. Just I have. So just round off quickly so that we can move. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yes,
so my point is that let Biafra not get assuaged by anything. You know, they are doing their last drag, but you must keep it up and give the maximum support to Samuel Ekpa, and let's get this done once and for all for our posterity, for our generation, because otherwise we don't want to see them continue to live in subjugation by the terrorist Fulanis. Thank you, God, God bless.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. You spoke for 6 minutes, but you spoke real facts, and that's the truth. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Thank you. You heard him live and clear, and of course you've heard from Prince here. Bye bye. So thank you so much. The number to call is still, we have the number at least in the next 10 minutes. We should be rounding off, and we can just end then we'll be doing the broadcast for maybe for the next 10 minutes, and then in the evening we might come back, you know, to still talk more on these facts. The number to call is +212 707 898 194 +212 707 898 194. The number is on the screen, so you can see it on your phone. Now let me go to your messages. Prince has really given us a lot of perspective to this, so I will not be able to say much because of the time. He has said all, you know, and all of that, and for hopefully by tomorrow or maybe this evening, I'm going to give more analysis on my own side, you know, and all of that. So Kadibia, thank you so much, Kelechi. God bless you, and thank God for Kelechi, good day, and thank you for your good work. Thank you so much, my brother. Thank you for joining, always being here. All the and says thank you for all your good works, and may Elohim bless and keep you people. He said thank you for that. And Gaza says it is true that a few days ago Gowon warned our people. Okay, is it true? And reminded us about he killed us between. Well, I've not come across this. I don't know if there's anything like that. I don't think Gowon would be that stupid to come out to say such thing. Maybe somebody is trying to use it as a propaganda or selling point of creating mischief and division. But I don't think Gowon would want to come all out to say this. But anyways, I need to verify. I need to confirm. I've not seen any product or a video like that, or any voice message that stipulates that. So let's just believe that he never said it, unless if we have evidences that he said it. You know, because I don't want to believe that he will be that stupid to say that kind of thing at his age. No, it will be crazy for him to do that kind of thing. Diana Gumbiade says, "Good morning, guys. God bless you all. Thank you so much. God bless you too, my sister, my Oduduwa sister, always here and always supportive. We believe we're going to get our freedom, and we're going to relate on a better template as nations, neighbors, and nations that are now sovereign and can operate reasonably." And Noel says they're doing cover me, I cover you, all corrupt. Okay, I think you're referring to what Prince was saying the other time, and of course, giving your perspective to that. Abraham Chukukjeku says, "My great comrades, the minds that give me hope." Right on, Mazi, Kelechi Ambrose, and Elder Ihenacho. Thank you so much, Abraham. Thank you so much for that message. Merlin says the grave does not have enough. The grave can never have enough. It keeps swallowing. It has been swallowing from the inception of the world and until now. Abraham says is on in Enugu, those partially the establishment and schools closed till 28. Okay, talking about the lockdown in Enugu partially. Well, it will be better. It will get better. Let's keep strong in it. Let's mobilize people to obey these things. Urbanist Tony says, "You're on point, Prince Ezemi Henacho. God bless you." And referring to him when he was making some statement. Nolan says, "This is the main reason why they ran to Russia, to make us feel that Russia is supporting them." You know, okay, thank you so much, Nolan, for that. Maria says Peter Obi is under the influence of Takia. Of course, he knows what he's doing. He's under the influence of Takia. Gowon will die immediately. We have sovereign state of Biafra or Abraham, according to your words, you know, in that regard. So let's see how it goes with him. You know, we know what they are doing. Well, we know what they know, talking about the British and all these Anthony Blinken and all their cohorts. Ike John says, why is this man interested about Nigeria election? Ike John, since you were not listening to his statement very well, he's making an analysis regarding the election to try to give a perspective on the deceit going on. He's not interested in election. He has never been interested in election. If you have been listening to him speak and his broadcast, you will know he has not been. He has been speaking almost in fact, in every week, twice or so on this hallowed platform, and he has never ever, and he's not somebody who stands for Nigeria. He stands for Biafra, fighting truthfully on the path of truth. So you can understand that. Maria says exactly, Mazi, this is why they oppressed Osibajo. People call him Osibanjo, but his name is Osibajo. So that's it. Dazan says, what about Tinubu's health challenge, which if anything happens to him will bring in Shetima? Of course, that's the calculation, but the calculation is not. They are just very, very, very confused about the whole thing, because any move they make will also restore Biafra, will cause Biafra to come. So they are confused, but their best bet is Tinubu and Shetima, because it will help them capture both the West and the Obi cannot capture the West. He has some few people who are just jumping up and down who are not serious. But the West is under the influence of Tinubu, whether you like it or not. And that's the truth, with his henchmen who have their own strong stooges. So all they need to do is give them millions and some millions of dollars, and everybody will submit their henchmen, and the whole thing will go well for Fulani. And so Shetima also is a staunch, is a strong Fulanization man who is also a supporter and promoter of Boko Haram, and at the same time a strong hater of the Biafra people or the Igbo race. So you can imagine that their Fulanization program will go very fast and quickly with somebody like Shetima, and that is why Tinubu and Shetima are very good, good combination for them. And knowing that Tinubu is someone who can drop any moment, we're not wishing him dead. But anyways, he looks frail. He looks, dying. He looks like he cannot do it. What would he be doing in the office when he gets there? He'll just be there talking the way he's talking. You've been observing him talk. He'll just be saying the things he's saying. And whereas people like Shetima will be taking the action and doing the action. That's why they need somebody who is frail. They don't need somebody who is agile like Jonathan, who will threaten them or who will threaten their control. They need someone who is frail, whom they can use, to control. The reason why Jonathan even came in is because Yar'Adua suddenly died, which they didn't expect, and that was why Jonathan, as an Igbo man, had to come in. It was coincidental. Instead, they would never have allowed any Igbo person come into that power thing. They will fight it. It's better everything scatters. That's how they believe. But they want to see how they can forcefully keep us together. And you can imagine Blinken. You can imagine somebody like that at his status, at his level, coming to campaign for INEC, telling you about INEC website, you can imagine, ask yourself a simple question. Why are these people so much interested in Nigeria election? How many times have you heard Kenya had their election recently? Was it in December or November? Also, Kenya had their election. I think it was in November. Did you hear Blinken come to campaign? Did you hear any of these United States or United Nations agents coming out strongly to come and talk about it? Now listen to what Blinken said there, and his people, the people he was using. They said that the interest in the election does not only portend, does not only covers or encapsulates the interest of the Nigeria people, but also the interest of the world. And now what does that mean? That should tell you that their interest, which of course is embedded under the creation of the United Nations, is what they have been enjoying, and they want it to continue. They want it to continue. I'll speak more on this in the evening when I come up. So let me just go on with the messages. Betty says, good morning, Kelechi, a formidable media warrior. MNK will be released while no election in Nigeria. Yes, so thank you so much, Betty. Good to have you here and good to see you. Tokenism, sorry. Talking about when Prince was mentioning Takia and tokenism and the concept of manipulating the whole thing, bringing in sentiments to look like, it's a level playing ground. It is not tribalistic. It's not racial. It is not, and all of that. So it's not bigotry and all of that. So playing all of those games just to deceive the people. Nolan says definitely. just to deceive the people. You know, we are concurring on this, Maria too, and we have Yuna Njoku, 100% correct, sir. Okay, you know, concurring to what Prince was saying. Then Noel says out of circumstances. Okay, I think concurring to something there. Princess, you're just too much. Thank you so much, Adazian, for that message to Prince. Definitely Noel says, and then we have Obiageliako Biafra. your name is very long. Obiageli. Let me just say Obiageli. Let me leave the alcohol from it. Let me say Obiageli because it's easier, you know, to say that. Biafra. This Biafra, is it Biafra or okay, Biafra, come and see. Is it? Am I correct? It sounds like Biafra. Ada Biafra from Chicago. Oh, Ada Biafra, you're the one here. Is watching. God bless you all. You decided to take your real name today. I saw the picture. I said, this looks like Ada Biafra. That's good. Good to have you here. Bless. Biafrans have decided, and that is it. We have decided, and so we go with our decision. He's also luring America dry. He's also looting America dry. That is why he can support looting anywhere. Anyway, yes, that's it. Of course, if he's not supporting looting in America, he's not going to think of or they see Nigeria as a place where looting can easily be done without any hindrance. You know, that's why it says for nearly 60 years I bore a name which, unbeknownst to me, means blind. Wow! A few years ago, God Himself changed my name to what I bear now. What, with a Bible passage as confirmation, come and see peace. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Good to get that testimony. Prince Nkem says she gave to the reason they are supporting the election. Play it back. She gave, okay, talking about that video. I'm going to play it, of course. That video, of course, spells out why they are supporting. We're going to look also into that in the evening as we also look at Garba. That Garba, what's his name? Ahmed Garba or something. One idiot that was coming to talk about saying that they have already concluded the Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's case, and that's why they have jailed him. You know, but talk about that in the evening too, and also point to the fact of the no election and the lockdown. We must all sit at home. Today is the first day we have seen the successes so far in some places. Some other places have not adhered. Owerri has not adhered to this. Aba has not adhered to this. And Monisha have not adhered to this. But you must know that you need to do what you have to do now to save the generation to come. Stop being selfish, thinking about yourselves alone, thinking about business alone. We must save our generation. We must save ourselves from the hands of the wicked ones. That's what we're doing. That's what we have to do. You can imagine this particular video, Blinken coming out to say you should go and vote. That means there is something that election does for them which you don't gain, because all this while election have been bringing costs to you, but they want it to continue in that way. We are talking about referendum. They are not mentioning it. Do you know that today on BBC, on CNN, they are just talking about election. But we talked about lockdown in Biafra land. None of them made mention of it. They have been talking about it since for the past days, talking about the election. Today it's worse. They are talking election, interviewing people on the concept of election. Nobody is talking about the lockdown. They're pretending as if they don't know it because they don't want the world to know what is happening. Because they know that when the world knows that something is going wrong, the world will revolt. That's the good conscience, the people of good conscience in the world. So since they are in control of the media, they will make sure the media says what the world should listen or should hear, so that the world will not revolt against evil. Just like the guy, you know, Mayrock, you know, Bruce, Mayrock Bruce, who set himself ablaze on the 30th of May, 1968, you know, because of the war, 1969 or 1968, because a Colombian who set himself ablaze just in front of the embassy there, whether the British embassy or so, you know, burnt himself alive. They see danger and turn around. That's why they involve Peter Obi to fool Biafrans. He can't fool us. Thank you, Broccoli Inzem. You have done so well. Thank you so much. At that time for that. Prince Kim says, please play it back to see the reason from the last statement why they support one Nigeria in the election. Yes, they made that statement in that with their own interest. And I'll do that in the evening again when we come. I'm going to play it again and I'm going to say some things about it before I go on the next publication, on the next issued item that needs to talk about. Diana Ogumbiade says they only plant Peter Obi in their fraudulent selection process just to destabilize Biafran liberation, but God has failed them. And that's it. Thank you so much, Diana, for that. That one gives us 1 Corinthians 6:16-9. For a great door and effectual is open. A great and effectual door is open unto me, and there are many adversaries. That is exactly what we Biafrans are now. Yes, the many adversaries are there, according to what Paul said in the book of Corinthians 16. There, my dears, both Russia and Ukraine aided Nigeria to kill Biafrans between 1967 to 1970. Correct. Well, don't you see the interview that even granted that Garba to come and talk nonsense? And the man was asking him questions rather than asking him critical questions so that he can answer. He asked him questions to justify the narrative of Nigeria. So that's it. The conspiracy is still there. In spite of the fact that Russia is fighting Ukraine, they are still conspiring against us. So our people should understand this. Diana Ogumbiade says, please, can you like this program and share it to other people to hear about it? Please, let's do this and follow the advice of our sister Diana. Please, let's share this video, like it, circulate it, subscribe to the channel, share it far and wide. Let people hear this. We need people to hear about these facts so that people who are hell-bent on the election can now understand or can now change or retrace their steps so that we all can stand together and make sure that this time around we don't endorse another fraud. All hail Biafra. Thank you so much, Ogechuku, for that. Abi says, no election is a task that we must fight and achieve. Thank you so much, Abi, for that. I appreciate you for that. No election, we must achieve it. Uchenna Akubweze says, good afternoon. Thank you so much, Uchenna. Good afternoon to you also. All hail Biafra. Mazi, thank you so much. God bless you, Mazi. Thank you so much, my brother Uchenna. Thank you all. I appreciate you guys. We'll be here again 5 p.m. Biafra time to discuss more. Very, very, very crucial. We're going to talk more about what we're going through and what we need to do and what is happening around us, and exposing more facts about the Nigeria election and the things that we have to deal with. Good day, and we are moving. Margaret Ijogwe, good to see you here. Whether people are sitting at home or not, we stand for no election in Biafra land, period and final. That's it. That's what we stand for, and that's what we will continue to do. Noelin, thank you so much. So remain blessed, and you too. Thank you. Biafra is a goal. Peru says Biafra is a goal, and that is certain. Whether people, no matter if you like, Pharaoh tried to truncate the issue of Israel going to the promised land. What happened? The Red Sea opened, and he was gone. The Red Sea became a path for the Israelis to go through, and the Red Sea became a place where they're going to drown. So, that same path that leads us to our freedom is that path that will drown them. So, okay, you came late. Yes, I know you came late, so you can watch it later and get the full message here. Thank you so much all. 5 p.m. Biafra time today. This is already past 1 p.m. Biafra time. We're going to come back 5 p.m. or so, or 6 p.m. We're going to come back. Just watch it out, and let's see how we're going to go. We're going to discuss more and talk more about these issues that concerns us. A task that must be done. No election in Biafra land. Thank you so much all. I love you all. God bless you very good.